And up next, we got another really interesting fight here with Jake Matthews taking on Darrius Flowers, who is going to be making his UFC debut. Matthews, he had a really bad performance against Matthew Semelsberger last December, excuse me. He was dropped multiple times. He was dominated for the majority of the fight, and he was expecting to fight Miguel Baeza here, but Baeza pulled out, and now he's getting a completely different, dangerous opponent. And he has 17 UFC fights, so that's a gigantic advantage in this matchup. And 11-6, so he's been good, but he just hasn't been able to step up in those big moments. He looks like a world beater one fight, then the next one he's bad. He kind of has that Jekyll and Hyde thing going on, but he's still only 28, so maybe he hasn't plateaued. It kind of feels like he has, but if he wants to make some noise, I think he needs to run through Darrius Flowers here, get the finish, look dominant, because Flowers is a short notice opponent coming in here in his first UFC fight. But Flowers, he's making his debut, like I said, and it's going to be his first fight in 11 months, so it's been almost a year. He earned his contract through the Contender Series, got a slam knockout in the first round, and he was a big underdog in that fight, but finished it in less than a minute and 30 seconds. And before that fight, he spent his whole career at 185, so down at 170, he's a huge guy, he's a beast, and if he can replicate that performance on Saturday, he may have found his weight class and be a new player. Currently, he's won 4 fights in a row, and he's been finishing guys. He's got in his life round, looks in significantly better shape, and this is a short notice fight for him, but he has a big opportunity to be a known UFC veteran, and if he can win this one, he's going to be, potentially right near the rankings, because Jake Matthews is kind of that type of guy. And when you look at it on paper, skill-wise, Matthews has pretty slick boxing. He throws good combos, and he's fast with his footwork especially and his hands. But he leaves himself available, especially with that left hook. And Flowers, he's kind of a guy that likes to fight in bursts a little more. I think Matthews is going to be the one coming forward and pushing the fight. And Flowers, he likes to kind of hold his hands a little low to bait you to come in, but he keeps his hands high enough that if you actually do get inside, he can lift up and kind of defend a little bit. And he likes to move, and then kind of explode on you when you close that distance. Explode, throw combination of big hooks, heavy punches, and he's very, very powerful. He closes that gap really quick, and if he can flurry on you and connect, he can really do big damage. And he also has good wrestling. He can time some takedowns, hold you on the ground, and Matthews historically in his career has a black belt when he could take you down and be on top and be the bully in the wrestling and grappling department. He's really good, but he's had multiple losses where he's been held down and controlled off of his back, so that's been an issue for him during his career. And this fight, I think, is really tricky because Flowers, I think, is a very dangerous guy. He moves around well. He has good takedown defense. He can slam you on your head and knock you out, and he can close that gap and finish you with one shot. Matthews, he's durable. He's someone that's kind of tough to get out of there, but not a very dependable guy, someone that I think could be taken down and held down in this fight. And I feel like Flowers is at a better point in his career where he has the momentum on his side. He's peaking mentally. He's gotten himself in great shape. It's going to be his first UFC fight. And it's one that I'm kind of struggling with because of it being an elevation and the obvious experience edge that Matthews has, but I'm actually going to go with Flowers, pull the upset in this one, and I'm actually going to say he gets the knockout first or second round. I think he's just going to catch Matthews and get him out of there. So this is a fight that I definitely think it's dog or pass, and I'm not going to be upset with people if they're not coming with me picking on the Flower side, but I would stay away from Matthews in this one, and I'm picking Darrius Flowers. I mean, Matthews took a lot of damage. He got dropped several times against Semelsberger, and Flowers at 170, I feel like could potentially have found his weight class. So it could look like a bad pick, but I'm going to say Darrius Flowers goes in there and gets the finish.